Okay, so this Saturday morning cartoon review comes from Azel98, and today the show will be on Animaniacs. So, Animaniacs were created by Steven Spielberg on the Fox Kids block on September 3rd, 1993. The show was created by Warner Brothers Studios with a great audience watching the show for days on end. The ending of the show came on November 4th, 1998, running for a good 5 seasons. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get straight onto the review itself. So, the plot is that Warner Brothers were looking to create new popular cartoon characters. So, Animaniacs was an insane thought of idea by some guy. The Warners thought as soon as they were created that they would wreak havoc all over the town they lived in. Once they were finally tamed, their cartoons began. But the audience despised the cartoons because of the nonsensical add to it. So they were locked in a safe to never be released. And the Warners ended up the same way, but they were broke after thousands of years living in the water tower. And so their misadventures began. I really liked how the Warners were incorporated to it. Heck, even side characters got their respect in the backstory. And you don't see many plots like that. I also like the fact that even despite the Animaniacs having such a tragic and sad backstory, they still have fun without incorporating that fact into their minds. The compelling thing about this cartoon are the characters that the show provides, and they can range from unlikable to memorable. But for this, I'm only going to be mentioning the characters from Animaniacs from the show itself, and not from Freakazoid or Pinky and the Brain. Yakko is personally my favorite character of the Warners. Yakko is the oldest of the Warners and is biologically 14. But anyways, back onto the reasons behind my liking towards him. Not only does the voice remind me of Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 cartoon, but this guy Yakko I think is the wackiest of the Warners, which I like since Animaniacs' real purpose was to put the giggles onto your voice box. And his catchphrase just gets me every time. Yakko I think has to be the more ironic of the Warners, not only because of being the oldest, but being the most wackiest and relatable character in the show, since he finds so much relation to what the show is supposed to be. Next we get is Wakko. Now, Wakko, or shall I call him the bottomless stomach, is probably the most relatable in my opinion. He likes food, and if we get our favorite food in our stomachs, then our stomach becomes the bottomless pit. And now that I think about it, forget about Yakko being the wackiest. This guy is pretty much Bugs Bunny taking a comedy routine of the Warners. Wakko also puts a laugh out of me and you. I mean, come on, don't deny it. From whacking people with his big giant hammer, to eating probably anything I could think of. Wakko is truly a character blazing onto my laugh box like no tomorrow, and he never fails to make me laugh almost hysterically. And finally, we get the cute and adorable Dot. And I kind of have mixed feelings about her. Yeah, she can be a good character, but when you call her Dottie and she gets mad, I kind of find it funny at times, but not really at points too. Yeah, I know Animaniacs is wacky, but I think Dot takes it a bit too far within the show. Also, I find Dot to be the most underused of the Warner's siblings. But like I said, she actually seems like an adorable fictional character. Next we get is Dr. Otto Scratch and Sniff. And oh my god, where do I begin with this guy? He is my second favorite character behind Yakko. He brings so much to the Animaniacs show when he tries to tame the little bastards. Plus, it's funny to see what he's attracted to. Although in today's society it isn't. Even his name cracks me up sometimes. I even liked when on the first episode he forced himself to tear his own hair off. Dr. Otto Scratch and Sniff is a very underused character as he isn't used much in the episodes, but whenever he's there, he automatically steals the show. Now, the animation for the show was really well done. Animaniacs actually looks very high quality in animation even to this day. Not bad for a 1993 cartoon, right? Even as the series progressed, the Animaniacs still kept that wacky and colorful feel in their animation when looking at it. If you watch enough Animaniacs episodes ranging from 1 to 7 episodes, you will love this animation. Unfortunately, the show was canceled in 1998 by the lead executive of Time Warner, who is this fuckface Jamie Kellner. Now, the reasoning for this show being canceled was that there was a problem as it was popular, but it was not bringing in the children, but the adults on Kids WB. Because Warner Brothers aired the show around a time that was intended solely for kids, which caused it to lose half of its ratings after leaving Fox Kids. Now, the ratings were still high, but it was not bringing in the ratings Warner Brothers wanted it to be despite the series' success on Fox Kids. Animaniacs on Kids WB was only successful in an unintended way, bringing in the adult viewers and viewers outside of the Kids WB target demographic of young children. This unintended result of adult viewers and not enough young viewers to put pressure on the Warner Brothers network from advertisers and caused dissatisfaction from the WB towards Animaniacs. Slowly, orders from the Warner Brothers for the Animaniacs episodes dwindled, and Animaniacs had a couple of shorter seasons, relying on leftover scripts and storyboards, which was reduced from 18 because of Warner Brothers' dissatisfaction with Animaniacs. The 99th episode of Animaniacs aired on November 14th, 1998. Kids lost interest, and advertisers could not sell to kids that were not watching. So basically, it kinda got the Invader Zim cancellation treatment. Since then, fans have raveled for years for the show to be revived. And it seems like we're finally going to get our wish. Kind of. Because a reboot is in the works and will premiere on Hulu in 2020. Now, I'm not sure what to think of this because cartoon reboots over the years tend to be hit or miss. But if they're going to do this reboot, I really hope it stays true to the originals and does not end up being some cheap cash grab because Lord knows we've had enough of that these days. But all in all, Animaniacs is one of the funniest, most creative, and best animated cartoons I've ever seen. It contains some of the best talented vocal artists in the past 20 years, yet the comedy is really good for young and old audiences. The episodes also have ranging from 90s romance to hilarious parodies of 90s songs, and as the show explains, they hold up to their zany to the max personalities, providing a lot of classic Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry slapstick and likability for children, which appealing to the older audiences to catch the surprising adult innuendos in jokes and references and satires about movies and such. Animaniacs is a classic and gets a 9.5 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.